Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Samuel Leggy here, representing TeamJVS, here to you guys another movie review, and this is from Middleburg 2025. I'm talking about J. Kelly. This is from Noah Baumbach, and yeah, George Clooney is J. Kelly. This is a star-studded cast. I'm gonna try to list off as best of the names as I can. You got Adam Sandler. You got Billy Crudup. You got because Patrick Wilson, of course. You got Laura Dern. You got Greta Gerwig, because her husband literally is Noah. And a huge cast. But the basis of it is you got J. Kelly, who is a star-studded actor. Like, he is what you would consider like Tom Hanks. And everyone loves him. Everyone appreciates his devotion to the craft. He, at this point in his life, like, he gets into a role and he just wants to continue to let it breathe. Like, I can do this better. I want to move forward. And he gets to this point in his life where now the people that kind of put him in an interesting place in his life are kind of asking for his help. And he's finding himself turning them down. He's finding himself becoming a lot more alienated. He's finding himself not even being connected with what he's actually doing from an acting perspective. The other side of that, Adam Sandler's character, Ron, he is his manager. He's the person that's getting him the gigs. He's the person that's breathing life into him when he is acting and he is doing his thing and he is acting like a spoiled brat. Ron is taking care of making sure that at every moment he is never alone. He's always connected. He's always getting the things he needs. But, you know, over time, it has changed him to the point that he has a daughter. He cannot and does not connect with her and cannot recognize the disconnect. And so that's the basis of how this movie starts. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of break it down a little bit. So from a cinematography standpoint, this is very beautiful. They go to a lot of different locations in terms of where Jay has to go because he's trying to get to a specific destination. I'm not going to spoil what that actually is. But it is really beautiful. Like the countryside, there was a countryside scene that was it looked so great. There's also some train sequences that at times train sequences, depending on, can be not really well lit, or it feels like it's like closed in. Like you don't feel like you have enough space to kind of round it out. But every single moment that, you know, we were on actual train for it, like it felt like it was a scene, it was a set. Last time I felt like that was like, I think the Snowpiercer, but the Snowpiercer is a whole different scenario with this. There's certain ways they transition, and I think that's something that I also have to compliment, is they go and have moments where Jay is just looking at something or focusing on something or thinking about something, and it literally brings us right back to exactly where he was in the past through whatever the scenario. And I thought that was really engaging because there's one moment where they transition to him, like his first like big break moment. And, you know, it was also another character in it that was a younger version of himself and a younger version of Billy Crudup's character. And it was a very engaging scene because the way they transitioned it was near perfect, but it was also great pacing because it never missed the mark. The other thing that I'll say is really good about this film is because there's so many different characters, you don't have a lot of time to kind of tell a fleshed out story, right? Well, they find ways in this film of being able to allow a character to come on the scene and make an impactful moment, make a memorable one in relation to or connected to Jay. Like I'll give a good example. Like Stacy Keach's character plays Jay Kelly's dad. He's not in the movie very long, but he leaves a very lasting impression because the way that it's scripted, you see how much this man has kind of gotten to this place, and you see where there's a disconnect or where there's still a disconnect. And it adds so much more volumes and values to Jay's relationships outside of that, like the relationship he has with Ron, which is Adam Sandler's character, the relationship he has with his daughter, the relationship he has with just people on the outside, and all those different social interactions, even though they're fleeting, they're very impactful because they round out how these characters are kind of navigating. And the other thing I didn't anticipate is Adam Sandler really plays opposite and connective tissue to him, because even though he's the manager, Ron as a character is going through a lot. Like, he's trying to be a dutiful dad. He's trying to be a dutiful husband. He's trying to go and take care of Jay. He's trying to maintain civil control with how to manage Jay with Liz, which is Laura Dern's character. And even with that, Laura Dern and him, great chemistry. Oh my gosh, I could watch them, any scene with them for days. But there's a lot of heavy lifting, and at the same time, a reserved performance that is being maintained by Adam Sandler at every given moment. There's never a moment he's like overshadowing or overdoing something. It's very believable. It's very specific. And the same thing I'll say, even with George Clooney, like, he's having to play a role very differently, because the crux of the storyline is you have an actor that has hit the pinnacle, but he does not know the trajectory that he is going, and he does not know the bodies he's left behind him. He has no idea how to grieve that. He has no idea how to deal with that. And that's a very real thing. Like, there are people that go and, you know, follow a dream, point and shoot, get it done, don't care who you pave out of the way to get there, and then you're dealing with those ramifications. And the ramifications of what Jay Kelly is dealing with, sometimes they're merited, sometimes they're not, but that is what he's having to deal with. And we're having to go through it with him, for better or for worse. And I think the thing I'll say is that George Clooney and Jay Kelly, I didn't think, the first and second act, I didn't really like him. I really didn't like him. And I think that through the second and third act, like, I come to know him, and I come to want to like him. And I think that's the more interesting thing. That's a hard sell. Like, most time you play a character you love to hate, or you play a character that at the end of the day, you know, is a good soul. And when it's, you know, a gray area there, you don't really know how you actually really feel. It takes a lot to actually make you connected. And I think that's where the proponent of reinforced characters that are really good, and then a storyline that is very, you know, connectable, I think that's what makes this really good. And also some good music selection, song choices within this. But yeah, this is a really good film. There are moments that kind of drag. Very first act, it was kind of like I didn't know where it was going to go. I think when Billy Caldrup's character showed up, that's when I knew the trajectory of where it was going to go. And from that point, it just continued to elevate. But there were some snag moments, and there's some moments that I felt like could have been handled a little differently. But I mean, by the time we got to the third act and how they round that all up, I was sold at that point. So I'd rest it at an 8 out of 10. Highly recommend you go and check it out. Very important. There's another film that takes small little connective tissue to that, and it's called Sentimental Value. I'll do my thoughts and review on that, because those movies, I think, work in tandem. Very important to watch both of them if you can this year. But thank you guys so much for watching, and can't wait for you guys to see more of our content from Middleburg 2025. Peace, people.